On my neck.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Tired.
Yeah, same here. Oh,
Other than that, I'm doing great.
I almost took a nap. Almost. I didn't want to miss my live stream. So my friend will be listening. She's driving, so we are in her car. You're popular this morning.
Oh, it's my notifications for YouTube.
For
Your
what?
live stream and
Oh, okay, yeah. Gotcha. So I did not go into Roy and Becky's, but usually they do a raid. I appreciate them so very much. Um, yeah. Hey, lady, I miss you. So again, welcome. If you're a newcomer, don't be scared. Everybody starts out as a newcomer. Um, and everyone else that has been doing AA either here or at a group, awesome. Uh, so rules: no bullying, no bad mouthing, no judgment. If you feel like sharing your story, please do. If you don't want people to know your situation, just hit the like button and subscribe. I do AA meetings on Tuesday mornings at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and Saturday 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time also. And I also have a different part of my channel, which is my adventures. But for Tuesdays and Saturdays, please be mindful of everybody else that is in the chat. Um, I I enjoy sharing a gift that I got for free with everyone else and help whoever may need help, whether it's somebody who is deciding to be on their beginning of their sobriety or already been in it. And um, so uh, I don't want there to be any reason that people would not come here and feel welcome. And I'm blessed to be able to do this. Uh, this for everybody else that may need it. If you have friends or family members that are alcoholics, this may help you talk to them about going to a meeting or whatever. So that is what this is about also, is reaching out to those who have friends and family that suffer and cannot get out of it because they don't think that there is a way out. But clearly there is. So, anyways, I'm going to say the Serenity Prayer, and then we'll read the steps in the steps in 12 steps and 12 traditions book, and then we are on chapter 4 in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous on page 55. So let's get started. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Uh, you can find the steps and traditions in the front of your book, in the content. 1. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. 2. Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3. Made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. 4. Made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5. Admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6. We're entirely ready to have God remove all these defective characters. 7. Humbly asked Him to remove our shortcomings. 8. Made a list of all people, all persons we had harmed, and became willing to make amends to them all. 9. Made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10. Continued to take personal inventory, and when wrong, promptly admit it. 11. Sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. 12. Having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we try to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs. Okay, we're going to start on page 55. Actually, we were fooling ourselves, for a deep down in every man, woman, and child is the fundamental idea of God. It was it may be obscured by calamity, by pomp, by worship of other things, but in some form or other it is there. For faith in a power greater than ourselves and miraculous demonstrations of that power in human lives are fact as old as man himself. We finally saw that faith in some kind of God was a part of our makeup, just as much as the feeling we have for a friend. Sometimes we had to search fearlessly, but He was there. He was as much a fact as we were. We found the great reality deep down within us. In the last analysis, it is only there that He may be found. It was so with us. We can only clear the ground a bit. If our testimony helps sweep away prejudice, enables you to think honestly, encourages you to search diligently within yourself, then, if you wish, you can join us on the or broad highway. With this attitude, you cannot fail. The consciousness of your belief is sure to come to you. In this book, you will read the experience of a man who thought he was an atheist. His story is interesting that some of it should be told now. His change of heart was drastic, convincing, and moving. Our friend was a minister's son. He attended church school, where he became rebellious at what he thought an overdose of religious education. For years thereafter, he was diagnosed or dogged by trouble and frustration, business failure, insanity, fatal illness, suicide, these calamities is his immediate family embittered and depressed him. Post-war disillusionment, ever more serious alcoholism, impending,
Impending.
men- I said that,
Oh.
impending mental and physical collapse brought him to the point of self-destruction. Go ahead.
One night, when confined in a hospital, he was approached by an alcoholic who had known a spiritual experience. Our friend's gorge rose as he bitterly cried out, "If there is a God, he certainly hasn't done anything for me." But later, alone in his room, he asked himself the question: is it possible that all the religious people I have known are wrong? While pondering the answer, he felt as though he lived in hell. Then, like a thunderbolt, a great thought came. It crowded out all else. Who are you to say there is no God? This man recounts that his tumble out of bed to his knees. I knew for seconds he was overwhelmed by a conviction of the presence of God. I poured over and through him with the certainty and majesty of a great tide at flood. The barriers he had built through the years were swept away. He stood in the presence of infinity, infinite power and love. He had stepped from bridge to shore. For the first time, he lived in conscious companionship with his Creator. Thus was Friend's cornerstone fixed in place. No later vicissitude had shaken him. His alcoholic problem was taken away. That very night, years ago, it disappeared, save for a few brief moments of temptation. The thought of drink has never returned, and at such times a great revulsion has risen up in him. Seemingly he could not drink even if he would. God had restored his sanity. What is this but a miracle of healing? Yet its elements are simple. Circumstance made him willing to believe. He humbly offered himself to his Maker. Then he knew. Even so has God restored us all to our right minds. This to this man the revelation was sudden. Some of us grow into it more slowly, but he has come to all who have honestly sought him. When we drew near to him, he disclosed himself to us.
I'm going to start on chapter 5. I want to only read the first. I want to read 58 and 59. Rarely have we seen, and this chapter is how it works. Rarely have we seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path. Those who do not recover are people who cannot or will not completely give themselves to this simple program. usually men and women who are constitutionally incapable of being honest with themselves. They're such unfortunates. They are not at fault. They seem to have been born that way. They are naturally incapable of grasping and developing a manner of living which demands righteous honesty. Their chances are less than average. There are those, too, who suffer from grave emotional and mental disorders, but many of them do recover if they have the capacity to be honest. Our stories disclose in a general way what we used to be like, what happened, and what we are like now. If you have decided you want what we have and are willing to go to any length to get it, then you are ready to take certain steps. At some of these we balked. We thought we could find an easier, softer way, but we could not. With all earnestness at our command, we beg of you to be fearless and thorough from the very start. Some of us have tried to hold on to our old ideas, and the result was nil until we let go absolutely. Remember that we deal with alcohol, cunning, baffling, powerful. Without help, it is too much for us. But there is one who has all power. That one is God. May you find him now. Half measure availed us nothing. We stood at the turning point. We asked him, we asked his protection and care with complete abandon. Here are the steps we took, which are suggested as a program of recovery. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. Two, came to believe that a greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Three, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over the care of God as we understood Him. Four, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. Five, admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrong. Six, entirely ready to have God remove all defects of character. Seven, humbly asked Him to remove our shortcomings. Eight, made a list of all persons we had harmed and become willing to make amends to them all. Nine, made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10, continued to take personal inventory and when wrong, promptly admit it. 11, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and power to carry that out. 12, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs.
Many of us exclaimed, "What an order! I can't go through with it." Do not be discouraged. No one among us has been able to maintain anything like perfect adherence to these principles. We are not saints. The point is that we are willing to grow among spiritual lines. The principles we have set down are guides to progress. We claim spiritual progress rather than spiritual perfection. Our description of the alcoholic, the chapter to the agnostic, and our personal adventures before and after making clear three pertinent ideas. that we were alcoholics and could not manage our own lives. B. That probably no human power could have relieved our alcoholism. C. That God could and would if he were sought. Being convinced we were at step 3, which is that we decided to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God, as we understood him. Just what do we mean by that? And just what do we do?
Let's stop there. So I went into chapter 5 because we didn't have very much to read in left to read in chapter 4. So I always say, when you first start, it is hard work. You do your steps. Sometimes it takes you a very long time to come to terms with a step that you're on. Mine was step 4. It took me forever to do my step 4. And that's because I had to um, write down everything pretty much. And it was pretty scary because there was a lot that I thought was my fault that I needed to fix. And uh, the only person I had major animosity with, um, he was an alcoholic as well. That was my birth father. Uh, but he didn't find his way out of the alcoholism. He died an alcoholic. He died of heart failure because he was still drinking. So I'm glad that I quit when I did, and I didn't damage my life to a point of no return. Um, and I do need to ask for prayers for my cousin because her ex stepson passed away at 21, and we believe it was from a overdose. Um, and there's that too. Some people don't get out of that, and it's a lot of work. And I've learned enough in 8 years that I just include it in every part of my daily life. And I do hold I do hold grudges towards certain people, but that's because of them, not because of me. So, there's all those things that we have to work on for ourselves and become a better version of yourself. And that's what you can do by becoming sober and living a sober life. I tell you, sobriety is worth every single minute of every single day. I'm blessed to wake up in the morning and know that I did not drink. And that's exactly what we have. We have 24 hours. We're not guaranteed that we're going to not drink the next day because the next day is not here. So we have to work on ourselves every day to stay sober for that day. And it does get a lot easier, but still, you always have to remember that you are a recovering alcoholic. And you don't want to take that first drink because what's going to happen when you take that first drink is you're probably going to go right back to where you already came from. And then that's going to make you feel even worse. So I know I've done it and it wasn't fun. And that was before I started my AA. So
Yeah.
that's why I always say AA works because I did the sobriety for a year and I went out and I drank again because I thought, oh, well, it's been long enough, blah, blah, blah. Well, it wasn't because I went right back down to where I was drinking all the way down to the bottom of the bottle.
And
And
somebody, and a lot of times you'll hear the same thing all the time because it helps to think to yourself. If you're saying the same thing, you're holding yourself accountable for going back. It's not because, you know, it might get boring to people to hear the same thing.
yeah,
But the only way to continue to keep it fresh in your mind is to remind yourself
yep,
that you're you know,
you're still a recovering alcoholic.
yeah, and I've been struggling, so I'm still sober though. Still praying every day. Please
Yeah,
don't want to drink.
it's
I'll
not
turn
easy.
around and see alcohol and I'm like,
Yeah,
but I'm used to seeing it. I should not be having trouble with it right now. But it does happen. It happens often.
yeah.
But
That feeling,
I don't want to drink. It's just like one split second and it's gone. So I
that
know
feeling never goes away.
I know I could actually be right back where I started and I just need to learn not to nag the people I love about not
Yeah.
drinking.
Yeah, 'cause I've nagged you. I'm like, hey, Lil, come to AA, come to AA. And then I read a part in the big book. I think it was in the big book. Yeah, it is. It says to not nag them about it because it'll just push them farther away. So I stopped nagging you and you came to AA.
Yeah. Life sometimes gets
Mhm.
difficult and it gets messy and stuff happens. And
Yep.
you can always come back to AA. You can
Get out of
always
there.
come back, watch some meetings with us, telling our stories, and
Yeah.
I know I repeat myself quite often because I don't really know what to say or how to express uh, how it's truly helped me.
Yeah.
I don't go to meetings, but
Yep.
coming here helps me stay accountable.
Yeah.
So,
And me doing the meetings is holding myself accountable and reaching out to the ones that still suffer and the ones that have been sober for quite a while, because some of them may not be able to get to a meeting or they're not comfortable being around all that many people. So, I mean, that's why I'm doing this and because I'm passionate about it. This is part of my life that I have been the proudest ever in my life. I because I am doing it and I'm doing it in a better way. I'm sober. I get to feel my emotions completely sober. And yeah, not every day is good, but at least I'm still sober.
yep,
And that I am thankful for,
me too.
that in itself. Yeah.
Ugh.
So yesterday we went up and went wood cutting, and that was fun, I guess. It was hot up there.
Yeah, Adventure Day.
It was cold down here, but it was hot up there. Um, but it was good to get out in the nature and do something else besides sit here.
Yeah.
Which being isolated for too long isn't good. So it's always good to get out there.
Yep.
And we are going to start doing our walking. It's cold again here, but we'll get it done.
Ugh.
We'll get it started.
Anyways.
But sobriety is completely worth every single day. You might feel like it's hard today, but it gets a little easier with every day, and it's completely worth it. So, but anyway, I'm gonna say that concludes this meeting. We've been on for a half an hour, so I just hope everybody that has been here will hit the like button and subscribe. Um,
Did you fix your email address?
no, I haven't. I haven't put it up there yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm kind of worried about it.
Yeah.
So,
I don't blame you.
yeah, it's.
You've been hacked a couple times.
Oh, yeah, I've been hacked a few times. And I've had my identity stolen.
Yeah.
But, yeah, um, it's crazy.
Yep.
But being sober helps me get through it.
Yep. It sure
I
does.
don't over, I don't overreact now because it does me no good to get too mad because then I'm gonna have to go and make an amends.
Yep. Even to
Yeah,
me, to your brother in law,
yeah,
to your husband, to your kids,
yep,
other family members,
yep.
friends, neighbors. Like
Mm,
if I feel like I irritated a neighbor, I'll go and say, I apologize for that. I shouldn't have. And I make sure they know that that is what I'm meaning. It's not being manipulative, it's
yeah,
being truthful.
yeah,
I'm sorry if I did something that offended you, hurt your feelings, or whatever.
yeah. And one of our neighbors just moved out. Darn it. Oh well,
Yeah.
we're all still friends.
Yep.
So.
Anyway,
Aww. Of course, this dog thinks he needs attention. I'm doing a meeting. This has nothing to do with you. Get out of my space.
you just shouted. That was loud.
Sorry. What? Happy birthday, Copper.
Happy birthday, Copper.
What are you doing? You're going to fall off the bed. He's over on the edge of the bed. Silly dog. He can't find his ball, so he's playing with his bone. I stubbed my toe on.
Uh, all right.
Uh, Anyway, we will end the meeting for now. Don't forget to come tomorrow morning at 7:15 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for my adventures. I've got new videos that I need to upload. I'm not sure how quickly I will be able to get them uploaded, so stay tuned for those. And yeah, enjoy your day.
Have a good day,
Be
everybody.
kind, be kind to each other, and we love you. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Keep coming back. It works if you work it. Love ya. Bye.